So do you know one of the hardest things to do is whatever business you run, to pass it down to your kids? Let me tell you why. According to statistics, 70% of the global GDP around the world is ran by a family business. 60% of our workforce, they work for a family business. However, only 30% of the businesses that families run makes it to the second generation, 12% chance of making it to the third, and only 3% chance making it to the fourth, because succession is so hard. So today we're going to talk about the 10 mistakes parents make passing a business over to their kids, and 10 things they can do right to set up their kids so eventually one day they can successfully pass their business over to the next generation. If you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and stick around to the very end. I'm going to give you the PDFs in our new entrepreneur circle on Manak. You'll get all of this given to you so you can sit down with your wife, husband, have this conversation with them. Okay, so the 10 mistakes people make. Number one, assuming DNA equals leadership. Oh, this is my son. He can handle the whole business. Oh, this is my daughter. They can for sure do it. You have no clue the DNA of running a business. You have no clue the DNA of running a company. It could be your kid, your blood, everything, but the DNA of running a business is a very, very different thing. When I talk to my kids right now, I got a 13, 11, 8, 3-year-old. I openly talk to them. Who do you think can manage the business and run it one day and grow it? Well, I think this person, that. What do you think? What qualities do you think you need? What do you think is needed to be able to grow the business? You think it's just to maintain it? You think it's just because you're the oldest? You think it's just because you got the best grades? What qualities do you think it takes? You need to start having that conversation with your kids now. Let them talk about it, but DNA doesn't equal leadership. Number two, I sit with a lot of business owners and their kids will come and they're running a business together and they're fighting. They'll bring us in. We run a consulting firm called BedDavid Consulting. You can go to beddavid.com to find out how we help families out. But we'll sit down, and you know what's the most common mistake that the father running the business or the mother, the parents run the business and the kids make? They have no hard conversations. Nothing. The son or the daughter will say, every time I bring up a conversation with my dad or my mother, they don't want to, not right now. We're so busy, not right now. Maybe later, not right now. You think that you're pushing the kid away. He doesn't want to do anything with your business. You're making the kid want to go do his own thing. So no, he'll never do it. He'll never leave the family. He or she will. Many do. Well, what do you think I should do? Have the tough conversations. Sit down and have schedule a damn appointment meeting off-site, not in your building, elsewhere, couple hours away from your building. Turn the phone off, sit down, write down 15 issues you need to go through, and actually have the conversations now before it's too late. But most people will not do it. They avoid the conversations. That's the second mistake. Number three, no meritocracy. Well, yeah, my son's going to run this division. He's only been here for 2 months. Yeah, he's going to run it. He's my son. None of your employees care. You have no meritocracy. Your son automatically thinks he's entitled to come and run the whole thing. It's like that one movie, Horrible Bosses, where Colin Farrell is a son that does cocaine out there running the dealership, and the son is just like, well, yeah, you should. No, that's not how it works. They have to find a way to go through it. One of the mistakes they make is no meritocracy. Put the kid in there automatically. Everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's son is running. I hate it. One guy's been with you for 22 years. He was hoping to get the promotion. Now you give it over to him. You don't think that's a big part of the business? Doesn't mean that the employees are not realizing that maybe one day one of your kids is going to run it, but you got to do it the right way. You got to do it the right way. Meritocracy is the way to go with it. This next one is tough, which is the founders not letting go. So they allow the kids to come in and say the kids have been working for the company for 5, 10 years. And they're like, yeah, you guys run it. They're 68 years old or 72 years old, but they run it like this. Yeah, you run it. No, Dad, let me run it. You going to let me run it or no? Do not let me run it. As much as they want to give up the power, they don't want to give up the power. They have a hard time with that. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. There's some ways to do it. But if they've earned the right and they've done their part, they've worked their asses out, they followed every guideline you followed, you got to let them run it and see what they're going to do with it. Or else you shouldn't have started in the first place, but you got to let it go eventually. Next one is no formal training. You didn't send them anywhere. You didn't do anything. I went to a event with Goldman Sachs last year in Chicago at St. Regis, 60 families in a room, all billionaires, one by one. The Kroll family, $17 billion. The Walsh family, the Reinsdorf family owned the Chicago Bulls. All these guys, they're all talking about how they pass the money out to the next family, how they get the promotion. It was such an interesting dynamic. One family's talking about you have to go, get an MBA, work for somebody else for 3 years before you come in. But they were all having their own systems of how they did it. The interview process, they interviews are G1, first generation, G2 wealth, second generation, G3 wealth, G4 wealth. There were guys in there that were G5, G6 wealth. The money that's been passed down for G5, G6, that means somebody did it right. And they put a structure in place with formal training. Those who screwed up, no formal training. Just wing job. Number 6, no proper estate planning. No one sits down and goes through all the details. Here's what it takes. Here's what is this. That takes 6 to 12 months of doing it properly. And if you're somebody that's got a lot of money or you're making good money, you got a good business, you could spend a few $100,000 doing this properly. But you know what they do? They sit down with your kid and they tell them what's going to happen with the estate. Here's the bylaws. Here's the rules. Here's the guidelines. This is what you do. It's a very, very important, but most parents, small business owners, that's a family-owned business, we don't need estate planning, we'll do it ourselves. Okay, no problem. Go ahead and see what happens. No wonder only 30% of the business makes it to the second generation. How much of that you think is on the founders? A lot of it. It's not all on the kids. A lot of that is on the founders that they don't prepare for that to be taking place. So what happens? No success planning, skipping legal, skipping financial planning. It is so important to sit down to do the planning with everybody up front. First, just you and your wife, then the kids being involved. Number 7, no vision beyond the founder. The founder doesn't have where we're going. What are we going to do? Who's going to run the business? How are we going to do it? There is no vision. It's just day to day to day to day to day. There is none of that. And if you don't do something like that, it's going to happen with the business. You need to have a vision beyond the founder. And this isn't easy to do. Sometimes it's sensitive for the father because the father's identity is tied to the business. And it's kind of like, oh, you guys just want to get rid of me. You guys just see me as an old man. No, man, we need to have this conversation, buddy. You want us involved? You guys just want me dead. You want me? Sometimes the overreaction is a way of saying, do you guys don't realize how much I work as a slave to build this company? So the kids and the wife and they need to be able to have that conversation the right way. But there needs to be a vision beyond the founder that worked like a slave to build the business. There just needs to be one. Next is assuming they're interested. What if they don't want to do it? And you're pressuring them, and it creates resentment. Kid doesn't want to do it. I really don't want this job. I'm just doing it because I want to make you happy. There needs to be interest. You can't force something like this. Never forget my son. I love baseball. We own part of the Yankees. We've had 2 rounds of ownership with Yankees. And I wanted my kid to be a Yankee. I wanted to be like, well, my son is the first baseman. He's the second baseman of the Yankees. Bet David on the back. One day he sits me down. This is 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. He says, Daddy, I got to tell you something. I need to have a serious conversation with you. He's 9 years old at the time. You love baseball. I don't like playing baseball. It's too slow for me. And you need to let go of your dream. Because I don't want to play this game. I want to play soccer. I said, are you quitting? He says, I thought about it. I'm not quitting. I said, why don't you finish the season? He says, I'm going to finish the season, but don't push me towards baseball. I don't want to play baseball. You know what happens right now when he plays soccer? He's nonstop. He can't help himself playing soccer. He trains 3, 4, 5 hours a day of soccer, but he loves watching the game of baseball. Just doesn't like playing it. A little weird because it's typically the other way around. You need to allow your kids to be able to tell you, I don't want to run the damn business. Have other dreams. No problem. Don't force it. It's friction in the family. They need to be interested. Remember how number 4 was not letting go? Number 9 is not letting them fail. They're going to fail. They're going to screw up. And I remember I'm talking to this group. They'll let us entertain you. They got 7,000, 8,000 employees. It's a massive restaurant chain. COVID happens. They call the father. And it's like, hey, Dad, man, I don't know what to do. COVID's happened and all the restaurants are in Chicago. We have to shut it down. He says, so what are you guys going to do? Well, I don't know. What should we do? I don't know. Figure it out and call me back. The father who built this billion-dollar empire, 7,000, 8,000 employees during COVID. They got to send 6,000, 7,000 employees home. The kids are calling to plead with dad. We don't know what to do. The dad says, I don't know. Once you guys figure it out, call me back. I'm busy right now. Holy shit. Now that takes brass, but that's the right way to do it. The kid says, we were worried that he would be worried because most of his equity is still tied to, he's still alive. But we're like, shit, we got to figure this out. And they figured it out and they brought it back and the rest is history. But they felt empowered. The 3 kids that were running, let us entertain you. Well, this last one's tough to do because parents sometimes use this as the guilt. Do not use the guilt. It's not going to produce the right emotion. We worked so hard for this business for you. They didn't force you to do it. You chose to do it. You know what we did? Don't use that towards them, the guilt. Use it as example, not as guilt. Guilt is unattractive. I look at the business, I'm like, I'm always going to look at this business tied to guilt. I don't want this business. Every time I think about this business, I link it to guilt. That's the parents' fault. That's the founder's fault. Versus they need to look at it and say, man, every time I look at this business, I feel a sense of pride. When I was a kid, I used to do da-da-da-da-da. I remember being 6 years old. I remember being 12 years old, my first job. I love this company. Sense of pride, not a sense of guilt. That comes from the founders, the parents, you, not the kids. So now these are 10 strategies on how to do it right. Number 1, treat it like a business decision. Interview your son. Interview your kids. Are they the right people? If they're not ready yet. What training would you give? So imagine somebody comes and applies for a job. If they're not ready, what feedback do you give them? If they really want this job, go get this. Go get that MBA. Go get this. Give them the feedback, but treat it like a business decision. Number 2, start 5 to 10 years earlier. Just start very early. You're like, my kids are only 9. Start now. Seriously? Yes. Talk about it now. Start very early. So many people, when they're coming down sitting with us, it's usually too late. Start very early. Gradual involvement. We're running election night the other day, a few months ago. My son Dylan wants to sell merch. I said, I'm not hiring you. Go talk to RJ, our chief HR officer, and get your comp plan. I don't know what he's going to pay you. He's sitting in the HR's office like this with RJ, negotiating his pay. Great. Did you negotiate? Yes. You feel good about it? I think it's fair. Great. He works 4 hours that night selling merch I'm in the middle of doing a podcast. He comes, he says, Dad, can you sign these 3 hats? I got this guy to pay $99 if they're signed by you. I'm in the middle of a podcast. He goes back, that guy right there wants to buy 3 for, but you see, it's gradual. Let him in. Let them gradually feel involved and participating. Eventually, this could lead to them being excited and care about the business, but start them early. Talk about a succession plan. Talk to them. Hey, son, if one of you guys wants to one day run this business, this is what I expect. You need to get your MBA to understand business and have a couple hundred case studies under your belt. You need to go work for somebody else for a few years. Really? Yes. Why? Because you got to get experience before you come here. And if you come, you're not reporting to me. Create a gradual plan. Why would I not be report to you or my dad? You're not going to report to me. What do you mean I'm not going to report? You're not going to report to me. You have to show that you can respect all the other bosses that we have here that are building this company. If you can show me you can earn respect from them, later on you can get their respect if you choose to become a leader in the company. But that's what it's going to take. Okay, great. Create a leadership council or board to coach them and mentor them, and start that early. Create that board. Hey, what do you think I should do? I don't know. Talk to Tom. Go talk to Mario. Have you talked to the group? No. Go talk to them before you come. Why are you coming to me? They're there. Go talk to them. All right, I'll go talk to them. Great. No problem. Let them, instead of you always solve all the problems, let them go and establish these relationships with these other people so they can also learn how they think, how they process issues. But create an advisory board for them to start having to make some of these decisions and get the feedback from others, not from you. This next one I already got, but is reporting to someone else. Even when my sister wanted to work with my company many, many years ago, I said, you can't work with me directly, but I want to work with you directly. It's not going to work. You're better off working with somebody else. Trust me. I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm telling you, for the sake of the relationship, it's better. They did. They're doing very well for themselves. They build a very good business for themselves, but they work with somebody else, not with me. Talk to them about earning respect from their peers. So if my kids want to come in, we're like, hey, if you ever want to, you better make sure they respect you. How am I going to earn that? Work your ass off. Be a great teammate. Have a great attitude. Be respectful to them. Don't use your last name. Don't act like just because you have a last name that you can go push people around. Don't be like that. That's unattractive. Merit-based. Earn it. I'm going to earn it. Awesome. If you do that long-term, you're going to be fine. Challenge them to win first. I'll never forget. I'm sitting with Barron Trump. I'm like, Barron, when are you going to do a big interview? He says, I can't do an interview yet. I said, why not? He says, I haven't won at anything. Why would I go do an interview? Let me go win something, then I'm going to do an interview. What an attractive thing to say. You're 6'9", 6'10", Barron Trump. Everybody around the world wants to know about you. And you still say, I have to go win at something before I do an interview with the market. You got to respect that. This next one is communicate with all stakeholders. The kids to you, co-workers, shareholders. It doesn't matter. Communicate with all stakeholders. The more communication, the better it is. And last but not least, number 10 is document everything. Document it early. Put it on paper. Let them know what the bylaws are. Let them know what the structure is. Let them know what they need to earn. And make it clear with all the kids so no one's going to be like, you favored Johnny. You favored Bobby. Now, this was the same structure for all of you guys, and you simply didn't want to do it. There was one of the families, I believe it was the Chicago Cubs ownership family, and they had like 3 or 4 kids. I said, so how did you guys decide who was going to get the Cubs? The guy that runs the team said, oh, it was very easy. On day 1, I came to work at 6 a.m. and I left at 10 p.m. My kid said, yeah, we're not going to work that hard. You can run the team. Very easy. The other guys don't want to come in early, leave late. You're willing to do that? You run the team. I don't want that kind of pressure. Very easy filtering process. But document everything up front so there's no infighting because there's favorites. Nope, it's clear. Who wants to work this hard? I don't want to do it. I want to do it. Okay, so if you're someone that's watching this saying, I want all these notes, all you got to do is go subscribe to the Entrepreneur Circle on Connect. I'm going to put the QR code right here, and it'll be in the description. If you're watching this on Spotify or Apple, go to Connect, go to the Entrepreneur Circle, join. The first 100 is $5 a month. Subscribe to it. All the notes and everything I do on these shows will be there moving forward. And we will have many additional things that I do will be there as well. So go to Connect, download the app, join the circle. These notes are waiting for you. Print this out, sit down with your wife, sit down with your partner, one by one, go say, babe, how good of a job are we doing with this? And be proactive with it. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, there's another video I did on the title of Generational Wealth. It's a longer video. If you've never seen it, I give you a bunch of stories how other families did it. If you've never seen that, click here to watch it. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.